Good morning, everyone, and happy Hanukkah. We are in Mishna Meiser Sheni, Perek Beis, Chapter 2, Mishna Zayin, Mishna 7. Yesterday's Mishna discussed transferring, when you had money that you used to redeem Meiser Sheni produce, where you transferred the sanction of the produce onto the money, and the money were silver coins. Discussion yesterday was about transferring them onto copper coins. I just remembered there was something yesterday I wanted to mention, that even though the Mishnah concluded yesterday's concluded that you only transfer Meiser Sheni money that's silver onto copper when you have to, because otherwise it's considered disrespectful to the sanctity of the Meiser Sheni. That's only when we're talking about transferring outside of Yerushalayim. You want to go ahead and transfer the silver onto the copper coins out to the Yerushalayim, that you don't do unless you have to. But once you're in Yerushalayim, where you're going to be spending the money on food, you're going to want some copper coins for smaller purchases. Therefore, then it's permissible to transfer from silver onto copper, and without any question. Because here's the point: you're already using the money for food. We're using money for food. Copper coins are used for smaller purchases, and therefore, if that's what you need, if that's what you want to do for the smaller purchases, you can go ahead and transfer from the silver coins to the copper coins without any qualms. Okay, Mishnah Zayin. Beis Shammai say, Lo yasa adam esla'av dinarei zahav. Person should not make his selas, which is a silver coin, into golden dinars. The reason why a person would want to do that is because he'll have less money to have to carry up with him to Yerushalayim if he transfers his silver onto the gold. Says Beis Shammai, you cannot do that. Why? Beis Shammai was concerned that if a person is going to be able to transfer his silver coins onto gold coins or onto a gold coin because he wants to make it easier to carry up, then we're concerned that it may take time till he has enough silver coins in Meiser Sheni to be able to fill up one gold coin with Meiser Sheni sanctity. And it could come out that Yontif is going to arrive, or the time for Yontif is going to be close to Yontif. He's going to realize that he doesn't have enough silver coins to transfer onto the gold coins. His plan was to do that. And since it's not going to be enough time to do that anymore, he's going to decide not to go to Yerushalayim. On Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, every male adult Jew has an obligation to go to Yerushalayim when we had the Beis HaMikdash. Beis Shammai was concerned that if a person gets his mindset on waiting to have enough silver coins to transfer it to a gold coin and then go to Yerushalayim, we're afraid that if it comes to a point that he's going to wait till there comes to a point of time that there is not going to be enough time anymore to transfer the silver onto the gold. And because that's what he was set on doing, he's decided I'm not going to Yerushalayim then. And therefore, Beis Shammai said, you can't do that. You can't transfer from silver onto gold. Or Beis Hillel matirin. The Beis Hillel permit. Beis Hillel weren't concerned that a person would neglect to fulfill his obligation to Yerushalayim because of that thing that he was waiting to not have to schlep up so many gold coins that he could transfer onto silver coins to transfer onto a gold coin. Rabbi Akiva, the sage Rabbi Akiva said, Ani asisa m'gamliel Rabbi Yeshua as kas b'dinar zav. Akiva says, I made for Rabbi Gamliel, the sage from Gamliel Rabbi Yeshua, their silver coins into gold coins. Rabbi Akiva's point is showing that, this is what we did. This was the practice that the earlier sages, Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Yeshua, did. That means they were okay with doing that, which means that we follow Beis Hillel's opinion, which is typically the rule. But Rabbi Akiva was actually showing, practically speaking, how those sages practiced that they did transfer their silver onto gold, and therefore, clearly, that is what halacha permits. In the Chavetz Chaim, Lashon Harah, we're up to Klal Gimel, chapter 3, Halacha Gimel, paragraph 3. Again, let me show you, says the Chavetz Chaim, again, how great the prohibition, how severe the prohibition of Lashon Harah is. Shafilo eina medaber mitoich hasina. Even if he doesn't say the Lashon Harah, even if he doesn't say the derogatory statement out of dislike for the person, then it's he didn't mean in any way to put him down. He said it jokingly. He said it, light in a lightheaded way. So he's just joking around. Nonetheless, meaning that they are a derogatory statement, it's forbidden from the Torah to do so. Halacha Dalet, paragraph 4. The prohibition of speaking Lashon Hara applies even if he doesn't specify who he's speaking about. He tells over a story about someone. But from the context of the story, the listener understands who you were intending. If that's what happens, that's included in Lashon Hara. So even if you don't specify who it is, but the listener knows right away who you're talking about, that's the Lashon Hara. And even more, let's say the words that he said, there was nothing derogatory in the words that he said. Just that through his words, that brought about either some kind of damage, difficulty, or degradation to his friend. And the person intended that, meaning he was in his trickery. He was trying to, he was just making a completely benign statement, but his intention was that the listener would get the message, and therefore that person that he was speaking about would be degraded. This is also included Lashon Hara. And this is what our sages call secret, hidden Lashon Hara. There's nothing, meaning in the words, there's absolutely nothing negative. But you know that by making this statement, someone else will be degraded, it'll create a derogatory impression about the person. That's Lashon Hara. I think, for instance, I can't remember. I remember reading a book a long time ago on the Lashon Hara in English from Zelig Pliskin called Guard Your Tongue. And I think the example I gave about this was, let's say there were workers eating lunch. And one of the workers was, he was missing that day. And the manager didn't realize. If the manager realized he was missing, he'd get in trouble. So one worker and the man's name and the worker who was missing, his last name was Spinchy. So one worker says to the other worker, "What do you have for lunch today?" And he goes, "Spinach." And the manager hears spinach, Spinchy. Hey, where's Spinchy? And you intended to do that. When you answered out loud, spinach, your intention was to bring that person to mind with the manager and get him into trouble. That would be Lashon Hara B'tzina. That would be hidden Lashon Hara. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful Shabbos, and a very happy and Freilich Chanukah.